Welcome to the deep dive. Just pause with us for a second here and think, what does true freedom really mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just, not having physical chains? Or is it something maybe deeper, more internal, something you can actually hold on to no matter what's going on outside?
That's the core question, isn't it?
Exactly. So today, we're going to get into that. We're exploring inner sovereignty,
Hmm.
that kind of unshakable control over your own mind, your
Yeah.
spirit, even when things feel totally chaotic.
Right.
And the power of choice that comes with it. We've got some really fascinating sources for this deep dive. Everything from an ancient Stoic philosopher
Epictetus, yeah.
to, believe it or not, 20th century prisoners of war.
Yeah.
And then insights from modern thinkers, too, on daily life, authentic action.
Wow, mix.
Yeah. And our mission, really, is to figure out how we guard that thing that's maybe most precious, our internal freedom. We've got some, I think, really powerful ideas today. Might change how you look at your own choices, where your real power is day to day. Let's dig in.
Yeah, and what's compelling is how these sources really challenge our standard ideas about freedom and captivity, too.
Right.
They make you think, critically, look beyond the surface and question where power actually is. Often, it's not where you'd first guess. This isn't just abstract stuff. It's practical, a blueprint for resilience, really.
Okay, let's start with a story then. It really sets the scene. Imagine this guy, ancient philosopher Epictetus. He had a permanent limp.
Yeah, from being enslaved, chained up.
Exactly, from being literally chained. But despite that, he said something incredibly powerful about freedom. He said, "You can bind up my leg, but not even Zeus, like the king of the gods, has the power to break my freedom of choice."
That's just incredible, isn't it?
It really is.
And the striking thing about Epictetus, like his physical chains, the very things holding him captive, they actually became the basis for his spiritual freedom.
How so?
Well, he understood this fundamental truth. Okay, his body, that could be controlled, subjected to force. But his mind, his decisions, that power couldn't actually be broken by anyone else. Ah, okay.
It could only be given up by him. So his resilience came from knowing that, complete clarity. True freedom wasn't something his captors could give or take away. It was internal, his own.
Wow, that idea that even under the most, brutal conditions, that core of choice stays yours. It's intense.
It is.
And what's wild is how this ancient idea pops up again centuries later in really extreme modern situations, like American POWs in Vietnam, James Stockdale, John McCain.
Terrible conditions.
Unspeakable suffering, chained up, arms bound so tight, their shoulders dislocated, just horrific.
Yeah.
And McCain's story, it's such a stark example of this choice we're talking about. His captors kept offering him early release.
Because his father was a high-ranking admiral, right?
Exactly. A ticket out of that agony, but he refused every time. He wouldn't leave his men behind. He chose his principles, his loyalty over his own physical freedom.
He clung to that freedom of choice. He absolutely did. I mean, he must have desperately wanted to be free physically, but he held on to that inner freedom. It's like Epictetus all over again, isn't it? That deep, defiant choice against overwhelming power.
It absolutely is. And it brings us straight to something Charles Kettering said. Gather the facts. A problem well stated is half solved.
Okay.
How does that connect? Well, think about Stockdale, McCain, Epictetus. What they understood, maybe intuitively, maybe consciously, was the real problem. It wasn't just losing their physical freedom. I mean, that was gone, undeniably.
Right.
The real challenge, the problem they needed to solve, was protecting their spiritual freedom, their inner sovereignty. That's something that could only be surrendered, not taken by force.
Ah, I see. So defining the problem correctly was key.
Absolutely key. That clarity was the foundation of their resilience. They knew what they could control, their response, their choices, and what they couldn't, their physical circumstances. That distinction made all the difference.
Okay, so we've seen how this inner freedom can stand up to literal physical chains, even in the worst possible situations.
Huh.
But what about the chains we maybe don't see?
The invisible one.
Yeah. Which brings us to this kind of interesting paradox. The chains we sometimes put on ourselves in everyday modern life. And they can be sneaky precisely because, well, we forge them ourselves, often without even realizing it.
It's a different kind of captivity.
Blaise Pascal, centuries ago, he noticed something like this. He said, people jump back and forth in pursuit of pleasures only because they see the emptiness of their lives more clearly than they do the emptiness of whichever new entertainment attracts them.
Oof. That hits home a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. Pascal kind of saw us coming. I mean, who hasn't done the endless scroll on their phone just to avoid Well, silence.
Yeah.
Or maybe just being alone with their thoughts.
Right. We seek distraction.
But does that constant chase for stimulation actually make us free? Or is it
Okay.
just another cage? A more comfortable one, maybe.
That's the critical question for today, I think. Pascal really highlights how we trade genuine connection with ourselves, with our inner world, for these fleeting distractions.
Yeah.
And Leo Tolstoy, he takes this even further. He uses this metaphor of an ostrich.
The head in the sand thing?
Exactly. He says, the things we do to make our life more comfortable remind me of an ostrich who hides his head in order not to see his enemies. But then he says, we're actually worse than the ostrich.
Worse. How?
Because, he argues, we definitely destroy our life in the clearly defined present time, like right now, for a dubious, questionable future. We sacrifice the actual present moment, the only one we really have.
For some vague idea of future comfort.
Precisely. An elusive, maybe even illusory future comfort. It's an active choice to disengage from the now.
And that idea of willful blindness,
Yeah.
it's kind of unsettling. Thinking about how much we might be missing, how much of our present we might give up just to dodge something uncomfortable.
Exactly. And Tolstoy really hammers this point about modern denial. He says, people today foolishly try to believe that all the world's senselessness and cruelty happens outside their own lives and does not interfere with them.
So pretending the bad stuff isn't happening or won't affect us.
Yeah, this willful blindness, this refusal to engage with hard truths about the world or even about ourselves, it becomes its own kind of invisible prison. We build these comfy walls of denial thinking we're safe.
But we're actually limiting ourselves.
We're diminishing our capacity for real freedom, for authentic engagement with life as it is.
That's a really unsettling thought. It suggests that just, going with the flow, believing what everyone else believes because it's easier,
Yeah.
that can actually trap us.
Mm-hmm.
Tolstoy also said, a misconception remains a misconception, even when it is shared by the majority of the people. Wow. I mean, how do you even start to spot those comfortable lies in your own life, the things you accept just because everyone else does?
It takes courage.
Yeah. And then finding the courage to actually challenge them. That feels like it needs serious internal strength, real resilience.
You've absolutely hit the core challenge there, and that's why those POW stories are so powerful, coming back to them.
Right.
They weren't just aware of the lies or what their captors wanted them to believe. They've actively rejected it. They chose principles over convenience, over what was considered normal in that horrific context.
They showed that resilience you're talking about.
Exactly. They held on to their own truth, their own judgment, regardless of the pressure. And that really is true freedom of thought, standing firm in your own discernment.
Okay. So inner freedom can survive literal chains. It can resist these invisible, self-imposed ones too. But how do we actually build it? Like day to day in our regular lives?
Well, that brings us to something pretty cool. There's this kind of, let's call it magic math to authentic action.
Magic math. Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's this idea that simple, genuine efforts, they don't just add up. They seem to multiply. They compound. They exponentially grow our inner sovereignty and well-being.
Okay, give me an example.
Think about Henry Ford saying, chop your own wood and it will warm you twice.
Right. The physical warmth from the fire.
Ah.
And the warmth, like the satisfaction from doing the work yourself. Self-reliance, okay, I get it, dual benefit.
Exactly. It's not just the physical result, the act itself, the competence, the self-reliance it feeds back into you. It compounds.
Right.
And this principle, it applies all over. Think about Andre Agassi's blunt statement. If you don't practice, you don't deserve to win.
Ouch. A bit harsh, maybe?
Maybe sounds harsh, but think about the math. Genuine preparation, consistent effort. It doesn't just lead to winning sometimes. It leads to earned success.
Earned success.
Right. And that feeling, knowing you truly put in the work, that satisfaction is way deeper than any shortcut. It strengthens your sense of your own power, your agency. It multiplies the value of the win.
Totally. It's building that solid foundation through effort, which pays back more than just the victory itself.
Precisely. And Richard Feynman, he talked about multiplying wisdom across generations. He said, teach your children early what you learned late.
Oh, that's powerful.
Imagine the exponential impact. If each generation could avoid some of the same mistakes, start further ahead. It's like compounding knowledge, compounding freedom from ignorance collectively.
A legacy of accelerated learning.
Yeah. And this math even helps break inertia. You know, that feeling of being stuck.
Oh, yeah.
There's this simple quote, what's better than nothing? Anything.
Huh. Sure.
It reminds you that even imperfect action, just starting, is always better than staying paralyzed waiting for perfection. That tiny first step begins the compounding. It breaks the chain of inaction.
It's also why that idea, don't worry about showing off, worry about showing up, is so good.
Explain that.
Well, showing off, that
Yeah.
feels like addition, right? It's temporary, about image might fade quickly, but showing up consistently, day after day,
That's multiplication.
yeah, it compounds over time, builds real character, real competence. That's the substance of inner sovereignty, not the flash.
Well put. And on the flip side, think about cutting corners. John Wooden, the famous basketball coach, he asked, if you don't have time to do it right, when will you have the time to do it over?
The cost of mistakes.
Exactly. It's like
Yeah.
negative interest. You think you're saving time now, but you end up paying it back later, often with compound effort. It actually erodes your time, your energy. It's another subtle, self-imposed constraint that steals your freedom.
Okay, so avoid negative interest.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
But speaking of positive compounding, Virginia Satter, the therapist, she had this lovely take on hugs.
Hugs. Okay.
Yeah, she said hugging is good medicine. She even quantified it.
Huh.
4 hugs a day are needed for survival, 8 for maintenance, and 12 for growth.
Wow. Specific.
Right. And she said hugging is a form of communication because it says things you don't have the words for.
Mm-hmm.
And the nicest thing about a hug is that it is hard to give one without getting one in return.
Ah, that reciprocal nature.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Immediate, tangible, reciprocal abundance. It's like that magic math in action right there. Strengthening, connection, well-being.
It is. And, all these threads, the inner choice despite chains, the invisible traps of denial, the math of authentic action, they all kind of weave together. They point to one central, really powerful insight.
Which is?
The present moment. That's it. That's the only place, the only domain where your freedom can actually be exercised right now.
Because the past is done, future's not here yet.
Exactly. Past is fixed, future's uncertain. But this instant, right here, right now, you are sovereign. You have choice. Think about Arthur Rubinstein's view. If you love life, life will love you back. That sounds maybe a bit sentimental, but it's not just sentiment. It's actually practical instruction. Life is the present moment, our ability to love it, to fully engage with what is right now, instead of dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. That determines everything, the quality of our existence, the vibrancy of our inner freedom. It's an active choice we make, moment by moment.
And that connects back to the hugs, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, something like a hug, that physical connection, it pulls you right into the present, into the immediate, tangible reality of being connected to another person.
Grounding you in the now.
Yeah. Reminds you that meaning isn't just in some abstract future goal or a faded memory. It's here, in the warmth, the connection, the now. It pulls you back to the only place you actually have agency.
Beautifully said. So, as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, the core paradox seems to be this. Real freedom. It isn't about having no constraints at all. That's probably impossible anyway.
Right.
It's about the conscious choice of which constraints you accept, and critically, how you respond within them. Epictetus accepted his physical chains but refused spiritual ones.
McCain chose loyalty over comfort, finding freedom in that choice.
Henry Ford chose effort over ease, multiplying his reward. They chose their response.
So the unbreakable chain is made of iron.
No, it's forged by us, moment by moment, link by link, every time you choose presence instead of distraction.
Authenticity over just looking good.
Principle over what's easy or convenient. You're adding another link to that internal chain, strengthening your own sovereignty. Look, the world constantly offers us comfortable ways to be captive, doesn't it? Invisible ways, endless entertainment, easy fixes, popular ideas we don't question.
Yeah, those invisible chains again.
Right, and facing that, choosing real freedom, it's just as challenging, just as vital today as it was for Epictetus.
So the final thought for you, listening, reflect on this. What daily choice, maybe even just a small one, will you make today? How will you exercise your freedom, guard your inner sovereignty? The change might be invisible now.
But the power to break them, that's no less real, and it's completely yours.